you, girl. Okay. So
And then I'll take coffee too when you're
How
done.
will this go?
just it takes a minute, honey. Click on the go live.
I
Yeah,
did.
you gotta go down to where you see the finger.
You want
go.
coffee?
There you go.
I do.
How do you take it?
Black.
Lyric.
Do you want me to give you a different cup or you want?
Come here, there.
No, I'll
please.
take mine. Thank you, sweetie.
Need that.
Well, Lyric's busy.
Look at you have to
Yeah.
put your finger. It have to be like that, and then you go live, and you see it spinning now. There you
And there we go.
go. And now you're doing it. Okay.
Wonderful.
Just gotta watch for the little hands. Still
There we go.
got new techs in the house. She's doing
And we have
amazing.
And we have
New
new,
guest today.
yeah, and we have our new
What else we got? New
microphones.
Oh, what?
We have new microphones,
So,
so
fancy.
now,
Now you might be able to really hear us. I
well,
don't
the
know.
problem may be,
What?
now we'll be smacking each other because we're very animated
Oh,
women.
no. Oh, no. Here, hold your microphone.
Yeah, so that now I'll hit you with it.
Oh, my God. Well, listen, if you're on the live feed and you're watching this, would you give us, if you think it sounds good or needs to be louder or lower, just
Yeah, let us
We'll watch-
know.
We'll watch for
We're
the
watching
comments.
for comments.
Yeah, we're learning
We're-
all new stuff.
We're
so.
sorry about last week's situation there.
So
So
exciting.
I'm still waiting for us. How come we're not live yet on my feed?
Yeah, look, I'm not the boss of that.
I know. It's hard to say.
Awesome. We should be live though.
Right? It says it, so
Mhm.
I don't know. Oh, there he is.
There we are.
There we go. I better turn it down just so we
Yeah,
don't
no
have
echoes, please. I don't
echoes
like
and
echoes.
stuff. All right.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone to Sofa Sundays. This is my cohort, Rev Jeannie.
This is me.
causing
Yeah.
trouble over here already.
This is me already. I'm saying
I know.
good morning to online people and then I
Oh.
messed it up.
Oh.
It says good three.
Good three.
Good three. Good three, y'all.
Yeah, that's what she
That's
wrote
my new.
down.
Oh my gosh. So, and Ann will tell you, because Michelle
She
just
will?
told us this about the,
Thank you.
Michelle was telling us that, what was it, the Buddhist?
Yeah.
Okay, so that when they're done a prayer, instead of, and so it is, or amen,
So sweet and
it's
peaceful.
like send it out into the universe.
I like it.
I love it. This is our new thing. I'm telling you, that's it.
Well, if I don't want it, though, what if I want? And so it is. And then you can do that.
And then I do
Okay.
that.
I still want.
There we go.
I still want that. And so it is.
Okay. Well,
That
that
sure
should be
doesn't mean something else in some other culture.
probably, right?
Like
I know.
Italian
That's all we
probably.
need.
Yeah,
No,
it
it's
is.
oh my gosh.
It's definitely. Definitely there are other cultures where that's
About
probably
that because he
a
lives
curse
in
word.
Italy, so he can let us
Yeah.
know if don't do that.
right. Where are we at?
Oh,
That's you.
welcome, and I just want everyone to know we are here at the Unleash Your Life Studios, home of Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington's practice, where she does all kinds of great classes. You can find out about her classes at unleashyourlife.us. And I highly encourage you to check out what she has going on. She's our mentor for, I don't even know how long now, like
Well, let's not
15,
make any
20
of us
years.
sound old. Okay. So for a little while, how's that?
anyway, a long time.
A
But
long time.
can't recommend it enough. And there's people in here that still are taking classes right now with her. So it's really great. We have a comment.
Yeah, it says
Can you hear it?
sound is loud enough, a little something, but sound is loud enough, a little tinny, but otherwise good. Okay.
Awesome.
So a
Well,
little tinny.
well, it's these,
Is it YouTube?
Is it take it? No, she's on Facebook.
because I can hear it, the tinniness.
I can hear it
of
too. But
because
thank you,
it's-
Evie. We'll see you soon.
Yay.
Okay.
Great.
Hello from Melanie and Brian. Are you guys on your way, Melanie and Brian? Will you be here for class after?
If
I
they're-
have
if they're on
I have
their way though, don't respond if you're driving.
Valentine's for everybody, so you should be here.
I know.
That's what
Look
I'm
at what
saying.
she got us. Can
Yeah.
you see?
You see,
heart
there's
box.
little hearts
So
and gems,
if you live nearby, get over here because
So
you
you-
can get your little.
and there's some ducks,
Mine says you rock.
right?
Yeah. So.
It says you're
I
a
don't know
real
what yours
champ.
says, but mine says you're rock. You rock.
All right, so check out unleashyourlife.us for Reverend Michelle's fabulous workshops. We have a Tuesday and Wednesday women's class, women's circle. Both are filled right now. So next go around, if you're interested, you need to get on her mailing list. But I believe there's still room to join us at the Best Year Yet 2.0, the Grand Adventure. And I am telling you, this is a grand adventure. So yes.
Love it. Love it. So good. And what else? What else? What else? I can't even think what else.
All right. Reverend Missy's in the house.
She is.
Cerise is in the house.
She
So
is,
welcome.
yay. Oh,
We
I
are
love it.
going to pray in.
Is that what's next on the agenda?
That's what's next
Why do I
on
feel
our
this
agenda.
about- We have so many exciting things coming up.
We do. We were working on
We're working on,
we were working on stuff,
2025 already, so
Yes.
really excited. So
Yes.
my brain is full of
Do
excitement
you want me,
right now.
you want me to pray us
I
in?
think you should pray us in.
Okay.
Yes, here we go. Pray us in.
So in this space, this moment, this place of light and love, I just know that the divine, that is everything, that is the one, there is not two, there is only one, that heartbeat, that breath, that sound that you hear right now, that is the divine. And I am one with that, as is everyone within the sound of my voice and beyond. There is only one of us. And in this one, we are whole, perfect, and complete. That there is a part of us that has never been touched by trauma or pain or suffering. And that these experiences that have cracked our exterior have made way for the light to shine in, for this divine light to be part of us. And for that, I'm so grateful. I send blessings to leaders and teachers of all faiths everywhere, knowing that today and every day, they are authentically themselves, bringing the divine love that they are to each and every soul that they touch. And I give blessings to the areas of the world that are suffering and not experiencing in the physical realm this whole complete perfection that they are. Knowing that while we cannot change history or another person, we have a choice of our reaction and our internal love. I say thank you life, thank you God, thank you universe for this time together, for this conversation, for this love that we share. I let it go, I call it good, and together we say,
And so it is.
there you go. So it
I
is.
like that combo. It
Amy
works
put
for
a
me.
flower pot up for me.
Oh,
Oh, thank you.
There's stones back there if you want to like set your intention.
Yes,
put it up there on the
that is one of the reasons we give out stones. I gave them out at Christmas too, as our little gifts. We ask that you give intention rocks for our little altar here of just knowing and affirming what it is that we set in motion. And intention rocks are a great way for that to be a material way of looking at it.
Right. So if you're at home, you can do that too. You can always
Absolutely.
have something that represents your intention for this moment, and it helps you to stay present in this moment
Yes.
with us right now. So yes,
So speaking of this moment,
this moment.
this magic moment, you're welcome.
That was extra today.
Thank you.
Extra.
Thank you. Our reading today is from the affiliated New Thought Network's New Thoughts for Today. This is a wonderful book, as you can see, getting well used by me.
Oh yes.
And this is the month of light. So today's reading is called Bowl of Light, and it is on page 117 for those following along at home and in the studio. Dwell upon the gift of the realized presence within you. Bless it always that it may increase. Joel Goldsmith, Practicing the Presence. I place my bowl of light on the altar. Gently setting it down, I take a moment to breathe. I inhale the luminescence into my heart, the radiance spilling over from the outer bowl of light, a symbol for the inner light within. Tonight, I hold vigil. As we each hold vigil, we hold the door of consciousness open, that all may enter. Quietly, we stand by the open door, allowing the sound of the inner Christos to silently sing through our vibration. We hear the song of the divine, and the gentle, resonant tone allows our inner bowls of light to fill and spill over into the collective luminous of humanity, lighting the way for others to find their way back to their own bowls of light. I placed my bowl of light on the altar tonight. I placed it down and breathed a holy, grace-filled moment. I stand vigil and I sing the truth of the word for the world, holding the door of consciousness open that all may enter. The sound of our truth silently sings through the harmonics of time, and our inner bowls of light fill and flow over into the collective radiance of humanity as we join hands in a symphony of song and lift all creation to the next octave of expression. I acknowledge my bowl of light on the altar of my inner divine self and allow the divine light to rise and become the truth of who and what I am and how I serve. Reverend Dr. Melissa Higginbottom, Interfaith and Religious Science, Mooresville, North Carolina. Or as we like to call her, Reverend Dr. Missy. Thank you so much.
Yes, great
This
reading.
holds so much. And I said luminous instead of luminescence, so I apologize for not reading
That's
it
the
fully
card
there.
Today,
Yes.
I inhale the luminescence into my heart.
And that,
Yes, fill your heart with that, the light. of
Our-
the truth.
our weekly cards this week were brought to us by our partners, actually. We came up with February's.
Oh, I get
In January, we were talking at our book study, and we were talking with the partners there were at the book study, and there you go. We started reading, and they're like, "Oh, I like that." So yeah,
They helped us pick the theme.
they helped us pick the
Yeah.
theme, and it was great.
Yeah.
I love that.
I loved it too.
I love putting them to work.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
Our spiritual church club partners should work.
That's right.
I think so.
That's right.
No, they did good.
Labor of love.
It
The
was
labor
like,
of love, yes. So this is so juicy, and I'm gonna brag about Dr. Missy for a minute here. So she is also a sound healer, and has wrote an amazing book. And I actually took a class on that. And if I had known I was going to be talking about that, I would remember the name of the book. So Reverend Missy, put it in the comments for me, please. This was an amazing aspect for me in doing that class, because it was all about the resonance and the harmony that we can have in healing for sound. So reading this, I know like the background on the writer's, thing for that. So I was just like, oh yes, that bowl, I can see it, and I
Right.
can hear that sound, that divine sound that we're all part of. And I love that. I just love the inhaling the luminescence into my heart. And I know we're on light, but light and sound are vibration
Right.
and frequency. They're,
Right. I like that. The thought of how she describes it so well. I like the visual in my mind of just breathing in the light
Mhm.
into my heart. I like feeling that, and I can see it and how it feels to do that, and just taking that moment for myself in a visual like that. I think is a really great practice before maybe you look at the other practices that we talk about all the time. So yeah, I think this card is going to be a really great reminder. Maybe put it somewhere where you see it first thing in the day, and just take that moment to visualize that and breathe that into your heart, the light of the truth of who and whose you are.
Yes,
You know?
absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Missy. The name of the book is Voicing the Sound Eternal, and Transformational Power of Sound and Consciousness. And I highly recommend this book. And if you're part of Emerson Institute and want to take a great class, I recommend that one as well.
Very cool. Yes. Good classes. All this is good. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, some people don't have altars or they don't do practices like that. So on the day to day, when you're just moving through life and you have those moments come along, I think just that breath, seeing the light and the breathing that in, I think that could be really helpful.
Well, and that goes back to positive intelligence, you know, again, taking something and feeling the physical sensation, feeling the physical sensation of my breath, feeling the physical sensation, you know, how does it feel coming in? You know, what's the temperature? What's the texture? You know, and how does it feel going out? And 10 seconds of that will change the brain waves, right? And there are so many times, like you said, not everybody has an altar, not everybody does a conscious practice. And I'm one of those, right? Like, well, I shouldn't say I don't do a conscious practice, but I don't have an altar. But the conscious practices that I do are generally more movement involved, because it's hard for me to be a sit still kind of gal. I don't know if you guys picked that up or yet, but lyric.
Like the microphone.
So yeah, so like one of my practices is on my treadmill, not my treadmill, my elliptical when I'm doing that. Yes, Amy.
You could actually, it was really cool on YouTube. Eckhart Tolle came on, and he was talking about just taking any sound, like the air conditioning, the hum of the air conditioning. You can go into a meditative state just being present,
Right?
To anything that's present.
I love that, because when we were talking about positive intelligence, that's one of the things that comes up too, right? To listen for how far can you hear out as far as sounds goes, right? So if we're just sitting here right now, I can hear the cars on the street, you know, as far as the farness, you know, and then if we're listening closely, right, you hear the sound of your breath, you know, you hear the sound of the people breathing around you, and just enough of that will stop you from the monkey mind that can take over.
Right. Gets you present.
Yeah.
The whole goal is to stay present.
What?
I know.
From the now moment?
We need to be
Move
in
from
the now moment. Yes.
Right. Where are your
Number one, be in this moment.
Right.
Be here in this moment. And that breath always does that. But I love the thinking of pulling the light in and illuminating yourself and really just letting that truth of who you are glow and grow and come out from your heart, you know.
Right.
But so if we can have this card just as a reminder throughout the day, or maybe just somewhere where you know, like you're going to see it a couple times in the day, and when you see it, just, you know, get yourself back there. I mean, I think that's going to raise your vibration for sure. It's going to put you in that, but it's going to keep you present,
Right.
which we don't recognize how often we're not present.
Right.
How often we're somewhere else.
We're in the mind, the monkey mind. Reverend Dr. Missy said, you know, the body is the temple and the heart is our altar. And I love that.
I love that.
You know, so that no matter where you're at, physical representation like we do here, awesome. But no matter where you're at, when you're driving, I use this all the time, you know, because when does it happen? Right? Yeah, my Marco Polo. It's my drive-by blessings. For those of you on Marco Polo, you can sign up for drive-by blessings. One of the things that happens is, you know, I'm enjoying whatever music I got going on, usually Amy Steinberg, you know, and I'm jamming and whatever. And somebody decides that their day is more important than mine and they cut me off. And, you know, and I lose it for a moment. I might say something not appropriate for work.
So repeat here.
Yeah, you know, not safe for work. You know, and then taking myself back is generally a breath or a physical, you know, PQ rep or something to that, or a sound, you know, get myself back into the music or whatever, because, you know, there's your superpower. And I said that today on my drive-by blessings, right? The superpower that we all have is that choice. regardless of what is happening anywhere else. I can't change the past. I can't change a person, but I can change that response in me on how I react. So
Begin within.
Begin within.
There you go.
That's why we call it Begin Within Ministries, is because that we realize that from right away from the beginning that we have to begin within. Everything is begin within.
Everything's inside, right?
And then it's staying present, right? So it's the beginning within. It's all coming from in here, out there. You know, a long time ago, and for some people still today, it's happening out there and coming to you. They still are living from that place, but the awareness has shifted so much that a lot of people at least can understand that it's actually coming, the experience you're having is actually coming from in here out. So my reactions and my thinking and my filters are determining if this is good or bad, or if I like it or if I don't, or what's happening to me out here. And but the best part about that is if I don't like it, I can change it because it's starting with me. I'm the one who's doing that. So if I say to myself, I'm going to inhale the luminescence into my heart, I'm already deciding what I'm going to be experiencing. I'm going to be experiencing more light,
right?
More of that truth of who and whose I am, because
I've
just decided to start from within, and that's what's going to come out. So I just think that this single card, I mean, I love all of our cards, but I think this one says so many things and covers so many things in just this one reminder of to inhale that luminescence into yourself, the truth. Just, I love that. And I think that was, the reading was so significant. Yeah, I might even go get I have a bowl kind of like this, but bigger, that I love makes that sound, but I never thought of it as being full of light. I love it.
Right. I remember doing a practice with Reverend Michelle where we decide about our home space inside, you know, that energy center. And we would have an idea in our mind of something that would represent that. So for me, it was a crystal bowl full of light, right? That was part of my energy center. And that's what I could see colors and stuff when I was in meditation for that. And that stuck with me as a place that was my internal jam, you know? I mean, like that was my resonance. That was my place to be connected. And, you know, so I love the idea of the bowl and being a place that we can, you know, have. So
I agree. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's, we talk about this type of stuff a lot. We talk about beginning within, we talk about staying present. And it's that, you know, the world, when you look at the world, sometimes it can, sometimes, I mean, I know a lot of people that just see the darkness all the time. Oh, yeah. You know, they see the stuff coming through social media, or they see things on the news, which there's plenty. I mean, there's plenty of it, you know, that you can look at, and it's dark. And then when you decide, when you see those things coming across the screens, and you say, I'm actually going to inhale the luminescence into my heart instead. I'm actually going to pull in the light.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why I think we went with that whole topic of light. Yeah.
Yeah, because the darkness can seem heavy. Right. And so much of it.
And we can't change the external things, the people,
that's not
the news stories. That's
outside of us.
That's not ours to change.
The only way you can change that is get back into here. But the one, I read something yesterday, or maybe you sent it to me, I don't remember where I saw it, but something about if everything around you seems dark, maybe you're the light. Maybe you're the light. You're the job. It's your job to bring the light to that. Holy cow. Right? Holy cow. Oh my gosh, you know, that is our job. That is our job. That's our truth. The truth of who and whose we are is that we are supposed to be that love. We're supposed to be that light. We're supposed to be doing that. But instead of, we're taking this and putting it on, instead of taking from here and putting it out. No. We have, you know, look at all the hand movements.
I told you we can do all these hand movements now. Great. Amy's going to get these crazy pictures of us again. Yeah, right? Look, jazz hands. Jazz hands. Look, my bracelets are shaking and everything.
But I mean, that's the rub, right? There's so much that I could sit here all day and just point out all these different things, all the worries, all the fears,
Mhm.
all the things to be angry about, all the unjust things that are happening. I could just go on and on and on.
And people
and
do.
that. There's so much.
And people
Yes.
do, right? How many times, so one of my heart map things this year was to make sure that I was surrounding myself with people who didn't drain my energy, right? I mean, those people, right? That are just not, and God bless them. But
Yeah.
I don't want to suck that in.
Right.
Right. I want to make sure that I have a pink bubble boundary that doesn't allow my energy to go just because somebody else is experiencing, something that I would let myself get involved in,
Right.
That wasn't my business. I'm
Just saying.
not a fix-it fairy anymore.
So it's so nice to not feel like that's your job.
Right.
That's another thing about understanding how it works is that
Right.
that is also not my job to fix that for you.
Right. But let's go to what we're doing with the Real Love book study.
Yeah.
Because this was the chapter we're working on today. It is not our job to be a fix-it fairy.
No.
But it is our job to be a true friend, to be a wise woman or a wise man, a wise person, to be love. Right. So what does love say when we've got, that going on, and it's the story again, it's the drama again, and now I love this in this, it was chapter 4 that we're working on, and in this chapter he talks about how as a wise person, you can say, it sounds like you're experiencing fear. What's going on for you?
Mm-hmm.
So we tend to blame other people when stuff's not good, right? And when we can be truthful about ourselves, when we can be honest and say, and he does an example of a wife being very upset with her husband type of deal. But when you could be honest and say, you know what, I feel scared. I feel alone.
Mm-hmm.
I feel not respected, or whatever the thing is. And these are the things, and I can be honest about how I act in my part, then, right, I can have a true friend say to me, yes, that is you, and I love you.
Right.
And then being seen and heard in that way, I don't have to continue to blame my employer, my employees, my husband, my wife, my best friend, or, person walking down the street, that guy that cuts me off on the highway. I don't have to blame anybody else when I take full responsibility for my emotions in that. And I allow myself to be vulnerable,
Right.
to feel those feelings and say it to somebody.
Right. It's a big difference from saying something like, you did this, or I don't like it when you do that, or stop doing that, or that's still outside focus.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can say, go internal, begin within, and say, when this happens, here's how I feel, and just be honest with how that's making you feel, then the other person can actually see the truth of who and love you with that.
Right.
And it's a whole different feeling than pointing the finger, because when we are out angry with somebody, when we are when we are pointing the finger at anybody else, we're doing two things. Number one, we're not beginning within, we're beginning out there. And number two is we're not present. We're also not being present with what's actually happening. If we're feeling anger, sadness, we're feeling bad, or feeling fear, any of those emotions, those are all emotions that are not in the present moment.
Unless you're being chased by a tiger, because fear is present then.
That could happen.
Yeah,
But that's also the fear of you thinking what's going to happen if the tiger catches me. Right now, I'm just running. What's
You got
actually
a good
happening?
point.
I'm running.
You got a good point. Okay then.
What's actually
Okay.
happening is I'm running right now from a tiger. I actually don't know what's going to happen.
Good point.
She
gets me every time.
But it's that work. And so it's like we make ourselves crazy because we're not staying present and not beginning within.
Right.
And we have so much power in that. So much power in. And I'm not saying like I wake up every day like, hey, I'm present and let's begin within. Like, I'm not perfect at it. I can get triggered just like anybody else. And then an hour later, I'm like, is this where you wanted to know? This is not what I want to be feeling. This is not where I want to be. And I have to
We
backtrack
need a
and say,
begin within button.
Yeah.
Oh,
no
yeah,
kidding. Or
like
like a
the-
reminder, like
the
ding.
statements.
All right,
Yes.
we're gonna have to make that in the merchandise. Put that on
Yes,
our
begin with
list.
it.
Begin with it.
But I will tell you, if you have a recurring situation with somebody that tends to trigger you in those areas, if you have something that's recurring, you can set a button in yourself. And I created something called a set reset. And what I would do is I would just say, when I'm with so-and-so, I've talked about this before, but it's the same thing for this. It's like, this person always gets me, like you're going to work and you're going to see a certain person, every time that person shows up, this is what happens. Well, I don't want that to happen. I want to stay present with this
The
person.
premeditated resentment?
Yes,
You
I
know.
don't want it. I don't want it.
We all know that expectation.
So we can say, when I'm with so-and-so, I'm going to show up like this. I'm going to show up calm and loving. When I'm with so-and-so, I'm a calm and loving person. And when you get with that person, 100% they'll still trigger you, maybe for a hot second, but you're going to have something in there that's going to go, wait a minute, you said when you were with that person, you're a calm and loving. Oh, that's right. All right. Okay. And then you just say, if I was a calm and loving person, what would I do next? And then now you're present. All of a sudden, you are in the present moment. And that's the trick, is we just have to get back there as soon as we recognize we've left. Just get back. It's okay to leave. We're just
And it happens to
normal
everybody always, right?
right.
We've talked about that with positive intelligence. If we're concentrating on doing our, I'm going to inhale and I'm going to pay attention to my breath. And oh my gosh, did I remember to buy the toilet paper? And breath in, and oh Lordy, did I feed the cats?
Yeah.
We're at that, and it happens to everybody.
Right, totally.
It happens to everybody. But the more that you can become present with yourself and pull yourself back, and now I know that I have a shopping list I need to fulfill, and my cats are probably doing something that's creating that thought in my mind.
Yeah. And just like a couple of Sundays ago, I talked about the 3 dots.
Mm-hmm.
And that.
Oh, and I love that. Talk about that again.
Oh,
I love the 3 dots.
so cute. The 3 dots is when you need to talk to somebody about something that might be confrontational and you might be worried about, or you have to get a certain thing handled, but it always goes to the side, right? So it's the center dot would be, so in my mind, I visualize this, but you can actually have a piece of paper and you need to talk to somebody, and the center dot is the topic. So, hi, Amy, do you mind if we talk about XYZ today? Well, what do you mean? So Amy's, the
ABC in it.
Yeah, that's it. The automatic human response is to give me the layers of protection, right? The layers of whatever.
Getting and protecting things, yes.
So, well, last time that happened, so-and-so did whatever, but oh, really? I had no idea. And that's the left dot. So now I'm going to write over here and write. Well, I'm going to write this down because I'd love to talk to you about that. I didn't have no idea what was happening, but I want to get back to this topic. And then she'll come at me with something else. Well, but the last time you said, oh, I did? Oh my goodness, I didn't remember that. I'm so sorry. Let me write that down. I would love to talk to you about that as soon as we're done with this topic. And you just keep going. It takes usually the average is 5 things that they throw at you, which you'll write down so they can see, I'm going to talk to you about these as soon as we're done with this. But after about the 5th one, they're just exhausted or they've used them all up. That's all the things. And now we're going to talk about this topic. And now you can get to it. But what's kind of cool is you may not have been aware of these other things that they throw at you. So it's kind of nice to get that out. And sometimes they say it unbeknownst to them that they're saying it because it's just a defense. And then, but now I'm on to you. I know that you feel like this. I know that so-and-so did this. I know
It's a process.
You've got a lot of stuff, but it keeps you present. It keeps you calm. And you actually get to talk about the actual problem at hand. Whereas without this in context, you would come to Amy and Amy would give you her first one and then you get triggered. And now we're over here in this dot arguing and upset and whatever. And that the center dot never gets dealt with. That's the norm. So it's it's similar. All these tools are very similar to, even the set reset. It's getting you back to the present moment and staying with what's actually happening, and so humans are, there's something else I was going to say, but now I can't remember.
You're off your center dot.
I have my center dot. So yeah, so the 3 dots, those kind of tools, the whole goal is just to stay present and be coming from what's actually that moment.
There you
And
go.
it's all better. It's all more better. It's all more better. But the habit, the setting that set point is really great if you know someone or something. Like even like you could use it if you're going to go speak in front of a bunch of people and oh my gosh, I always get so nervous and I just hope I do good. Like, no. When I speak in front of people, I'm calm and confident. That's who I am. That's who I am when I get up and I speak. You just set the point inside of you, and that's your beginning within. I'm not going, oh my gosh, and all those people there. That's outside of me. That's not in my control. I'm going to talk about what I am from the inside, and that's who will show up.
I love that.
If I were a calm and confident person when I'm speaking, what would I do next? That's all you ask. I set the point, and then I ask the point of question. If I were that, what would I do now? And that's it, because I'm being present.
I love that in reference to, especially when we're doing the, you know the question, right? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? From the end of your life, and you're perfectly healthy. How is this person, like that person, how are they responding? What was the most important thing? So that is a very good thing to remember. If I am this being of light who just wants to bring light to people, then how am I going to respond to this? Right.
Yeah, right.
And I also am not perfect. I know it's hard to believe, but I'm close though. So I've heard this from people. I've heard this from others.
Yes,
I've heard this from others.
Very
My
close,
favorite thing. But there are time periods where my mouth moves before my brain. I don't know if you guys know that about me, but yeah. And I have to ask for. What did you say, Emmy?
I have that affliction also.
So I have to ask for that do-over sometimes, because it comes out of my mouth before my brain had a chance to say, "Oh, Janie, no."
Oh,
yeah, no.
That was your outside voice. I love that.
Yeah,
That was
and there's that time period where you're like, "I'm sorry, that is so not how I want to show up," and people think that. They get embarrassed. They don't want to apologize. I used to be somebody that backed it up no matter what, right? Like, oh no, it came out. It must be. That's what I'm going with, right? Ruined a lot of relationships and work opportunities through that. That's not always the best way to be. So actually, I don't know that that's ever the best way to be. So now, being aware of what comes out of my mouth, then I can say, oh man, that's not how I want to show up. I'm so sorry. Can I try again? Because now I'm vulnerable.
I love that.
Now I'm saying, because a lot of times, that's my getting and protecting behaviors.
Yeah.
That's the way I am showing up in a way to defend myself or protect myself or to blame somebody else. Because I didn't give it that beat. I didn't inhale the luminescence of light before I spoke.
Yeah.
Don't overuse it though.
No. Well, if you're staying present, you won't.
No, right.
If you're staying present and you're beginning within, you won't overuse it. I'm just saying there are time periods where you forget.
Yeah.
Well, because we have our programming from childhood.
Yeah.
And those things are defaults sometimes, unless you're working through like the PQ, positive intelligence. That work helps to unravel a lot of that.
Yes.
But a lot of us still have this natural response. And that's why the do-over is such a nice thing to be. If you have people in your world that you've talked to about that, if you have people that in relationship with, I would share that with them. There's this thing called a do-over, and I'd like to tell you how that works because I want you to be able to use it, and I'd like to be able to use it because sometimes I react, and then that's not where I really want to come from. That's coming from a place of fear or worry or whatever it is, my past, and I don't want to come from there. I want to come from this present moment, from this person, who I am today. So sometimes I might say to you, could I just please have a do-over? And if you'd give me that grace, I'd like to try again, I think that's a beautiful.
Sure, because it really brings the, here's my authentic self, this is who I am, and I make mistakes just like every other authentic being, we make mistakes. And can we create a relationship? Can we create a relationship with this world in which a mistake can be made, but without that, oh, well, it's done. Now we're backing it up. Can we give each other that grace? Can we, and not just each other, can we give our leaders that grace? Can we give, corporations that grace, and these are things where
when we listen to the news or see something online or whatever, it's harder to have that grace, and we pick up that energy of nope, they're absolutely wrong. And that's, I think, where I experience it more than I do on a day-to-day with my individual conversation. I probably experience it more listening to the world. So again, I'm with you. This is like one of my favorite cards thus far, the inhale of the luminescence, and Reverend Missy also said it, and the exhale of it. So giving it back.
Wow, yes, gotta share. Gotta share what's yours to share.
Right, that light going back.
Right.
And one of the things in my prayer that I talked about was, I love that, and I wish I could remember the name of it. And some people know the name of it. That Japanese art, where it's broken, and then we add the gold. And I, again, sometimes things skip my mind of what it's called, but that area, right? And I can see that, the vases, when they do it, it is such a beautiful art form when they do it. And I taught a class a couple of years ago called Boredom to Breakthrough. And one of my students did something from that, ordered a kit online from it, and did that because that was
Kintsugi?
Yeah, that, I don't know how you say it, but okay, Kintsugi? That is the thing that, for me as a human, right? The different layers of things I've gone through in my life, through getting sober, through cancer, through the last 5 years of ... medical issues. So I feel that those things are where I was broken open, and the divine has put that gold there, and has created this wholeness in me that now shines brighter because of these things.
You do shine bright.
I'm a shiny.
Shiny.
I'm shiny.
So much light. I love it. You do love it.
Kitsuji? Is that what we said? Look, they're all saying it.
They're like,
and
we don't know.
Cerise says yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I like, just like you, how you said about this card today, I inhale the luminescence into my heart. I don't think when we did this, it was like, yeah, that's cool. But I don't think until we just sat here and started really dissecting it, did I realize how all encompassing that one statement is, that one affirmation can be. It's just like a 360. It's like one of the, I'm just surprised because I wouldn't say this about, I like our affirmations, but they're like for this or that. I think this is like all around. So
this is something,
Dr. Miss.
Yes,
this is because it's like, I wasn't even thinking this way when we started.
This is something that we could keep on the mirror.
Yeah, really.
You
could just,
I love that.
Because it's really important that we're inhaling it. And then honestly, as soon as you inhale, you have to exhale. So you have to do that.
Well, you can try not to, but
well, that's a whole nother.
That's a whole other practice. Exactly. That was
that's for swim teams or something. That's
a breathing thing.
That's not
all right. What do we got? Who has
comments?
Who has some
Anybody feeling anything?
comments or? There we go. There you go.
When talking about do-overs and giving people grace and what have you, it just reminds me of what I'm experiencing currently, is that I want time to process something so that I can communicate it in a way that's not damaging. And when someone pushes me because they want that now, it communicates to me that in their viewpoint, their feelings are more important than mine. And that's one of the things that I'm struggling with. But I'm reminding myself that, okay, great, you want it now. This is the form you're going to get it in. And you get to deal with that. But generally speaking, what I want to do is I want to put out there, give me some time to process this so I can communicate it in a way that's not damaging to either of us.
Nice.
People don't always have the space for that.
Right.
But I get to own my part of it.
Right. 100%. I love that.
Beautiful.
I think Abby wants it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Was I on?
Hello. I don't think so. No, you weren't. It is now.
Turn the
It was
mic on,
on.
Eric.
Are we on now?
Is it on now?
It's on now.
Okay, there we go.
It's interesting that this should come up because I had this very experience just the other day. I too was one of those people in the past who, when I'm right, and I'm not going to apologize. If I snap at you, it's because you did this to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an experience at work the other day where one of my coworkers, she just kept hammering me over a certain issue that was driving me crazy. And I finally just snapped. I don't know. I do not know. Please understand. And I just really snapped at her. So I sat back and I took a breath because she kind of walked away with her tail between her legs. And I'd never seen her do that before. I've never done this to her before. So she probably saw a new me. But I was under a lot of stress. So I was using that as an excuse. So I had to sit back and think about it, realize that it wasn't her fault. Yes, she was hammering at me, but she wanted to know the answer. And I was just frustrated, and I took my frustrations out on her. So I actually went to her and apologized, and I think that might have been only the second time in my life when I've snapped at somebody that I apologized for being that
Good for
way
you.
and explained that I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be that way. That's not how I want to be. And please forgive me.
Nice.
Nice. Way to grow.
You want a do-over. That's all
Yeah.
you were saying. Like, I'd like a do-over. That I'm under a lot of stress and I apologize and I'd like a do-over. I think any human being can understand that.
Yeah.
I think it's the not doing that that puts the walls up between us. But as soon and it feels like that's protecting, but it's not. That's what's putting up the walls. And the moment
Right.
we say, "Hey, I just screwed that up," that's not how, that feels awful and vulnerable. But actually, that's what causes the awareness and the connection and somebody, feeling loved by us.
And that brings to mind another incident where if I didn't apologize, which I didn't at that time, that person feels hurt or angry or annoyed and then starts to avoid me. And it becomes this difficult space to maneuver between us. And it takes a long time to resolve on itself. If you don't do something now, which is the easiest time to do it than to wait
Right.
3 weeks when it's like all forgotten that you're still angry,
Right.
it makes it much more harder to resolve.
Right.
It's true. And people forget what the initial anger was. When people don't deal with those things right away,
yeah.
it's like, I'm trying to think. It's like a snowball. Like it's like it starts like this, and then it rolls down the hill.
Oh,
And
it
it just
festers.
gathers everything. It
Yes.
gathers all the stuff. You don't remember what the original snowball looked like, or what it was even about to even fix that anymore. And now it's just
Right.
this
Because now you've
whole thing.
taken things from other places and
Right.
to prove your point.
Yeah.
So
So good job. That was
good job. I
so
agree. And then
tough
there's
and
the
great.
other side when somebody comes to you with that.
Right.
They say, "Hey, I need a do-over. I had whatever issue and did this." My tendency is like, "Oh, that's okay." Right? Because now I've just blocked you. Because it's not okay.
No.
But I'm not forgiving. I'm not dealing with it, whatever. So I found myself do that the other day. And I said, "Oh, that's okay." And then I changed it. I said, "Thank you."
Yay, bravo.
Right? I
Good
just said,
catch.
"Thank you," because it wasn't okay. Thank you for asking for the do-over or telling me, without an excuse. That was like such an amazing thing for me to experience, so I'm like, "Thank you."
Right.
And then it's gone, right? Like you said, then it's gone. You've taken the air out of it.
Yeah. I tell my kids not to say that's okay to each other when they're upset. Like, it's not, was it okay? Well, no, then don't say it's okay. It's not okay. But you can say thank you for saying that you're sorry, or thank you for fixing that, or whatever it is, but it was not okay.
Can't hear you real well. Talk a little louder.
Oh,
Hello.
there you go.
But I was saying,
Yeah.
it's on. Check. Let's see. Still
I don't know. You're fine now.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes,
Great.
T-Mobile, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now? No, but I was saying that it's, I tell my kids not to say that it's okay. It's because it wasn't okay. But to say thank you, just like that. I tell them, they'll say, "Oh, that's okay. Was it okay?" Well, no. we're just programmed to say that, like to just push it off, like you said, but it wasn't okay. So
Yeah, to not really
be
give space
honest.
to that. Yeah.
It wasn't okay, but I can hear that you're sorry, and I appreciate that. Thank you. And then True will always go, "Please don't do it again." He'll always add in there, "And please don't do it again." It's like, okay, now just calm down. Like, don't like, let's not
Don't do it again.
just
Right, because we have to have a safety,
yeah.
right? People have to feel safe to say, "I'm sorry."
Mhm.
as well as to accept, right, the thank you,
Right.
or the okay, I know you're sorry, and I'm not going to hold this against you, we're okay,
Right. Right.
and
Yeah.
and that creates a safety, and that is the real love.
And when you do that, then the other person feels safer to come to you the next time too.
Right.
And it will build a different kind of relationship when everybody's feeling safe to just be authentic. Wow, that's like a mind blower.
Because you're not going to stop making mistakes.
Right.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you were here today to find out how to stop that, but I used to say, I make at least one mistake a day. You should just be lucky if you're not the victim of it. So like,
Right. It's just gotta
yeah,
happen.
it's going to happen.
We
So,
are having a human experience. So it's kind
Exactly.
of par for the course.
Yeah. I have a
I
lot of
agree,
human.
I agree. And other people are going to too. So
Yeah.
you have to like give some grace,
Exactly.
Give some grace to
Grace
each
is
other.
an amazing
So when
thing.
the car cuts you off, just be like, go right ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I only have a
Obviously,
2-mile
you're-
drive, right?
Yeah.
So
So it's
very
safe.
generally, I'm
You're
pretty safe.
I
Yeah.
know, pretty
I
safe
just
from
feel
that.
like that's the safest topic to go into.
Everybody knows it.
Everybody understands that one, right? Not everybody has somebody who doesn't do something at home that we don't like. Not everybody has a boss or a coworker, but man, everybody drives,
Yes, and they know.
and they know
They
that
know.
person.
But I also know some days you're in the present, right?
Mhm.
And you're in the present and you're in the right place. You've breathed in, you've inhaled that luminescence and you're feeling good, right? People can cut you off and it doesn't
Yeah.
even affect you. It's like whatever.
You're like you don't even notice it, yeah. And then
I'll
some
slow
days,
down, let them go. Go right ahead.
and some days I'm the person who cut you off.
Right.
I didn't mean to.
There. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like just realizing we're all in here together doing this thing.
I just had this idea. You know how we meet up with people and say, "How are you?" Instead, and "How are you?" just sort of like is a big question.
No,
Yeah.
Like how much time you got?
Instead, like, have you begun with them today?
Have you begun with
That
it?
could be the new greeting.
There you go.
Yeah.
Got
Did you
with
begin,
it.
did you begin with him this morning?
Would you like to begin with that?
Would you like to begin?
There you go.
Yes.
Would you like do
Oh.
do
I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
All right.
Anyone else? Anything else?
Anything? No.
No, we're good. They're like, nope. It's our
I
first time
didn't
here.
realize this was going to be interactive. You're welcome.
It's kind of fun. We like it. Sometimes people, I love what comes from the people in the audience because they bring good stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's good.
And this is for you.
I know.
Yeah.
It's for you. Okay. Well, I think I feel complete if you do.
I feel complete.
All right.
You ready?
Let's do it. I think so.
Okay.
All right. Let's breathe that in. Let's breathe in the luminescence into our hearts. And let's exhale that light into the room. Recognizing there's only one power, one presence, one light. There's only one. We call it God, divine presence, first cause. We call it love. And each one of us is made of that light. Each one of us is made of that love. Each one of us is radiating in our own unique, perfect way. And from that place of my truth, knowing that for each one of us, our truth of who and whose we are, I speak my word into the law, knowing that as I do, I set the law of God in motion for the highest and best, for everyone here, for everyone beyond, listening to the sound of my voice now or later. I'm knowing that as we each allow ourselves to breathe in that luminescence, to breathe in the light, to pull it into our hearts, I know that each one of us are present to the truth, to knowing our truth of ourselves, of others, allowing that love and grace as we move through this human experience together. And I know that just as we breathe in the luminescence, we exhale it as well. And I know that as we exhale the luminescence, as we exhale that light from our hearts, we light the way for others. We combine our light with others. We grow that light illuminate the world with it. And I'm so grateful for that truth. I'm so grateful for the truth of who and whose we are, that each one of us is the light of God. And so I let it go and know and trust that it is all good, already done in the mind of God. And together we say, and so it is. And you do that thing. Oh, Lord.
Oh, thank you.
You're so funny.
Oh, we thank you all for joining us today. If you would like to support our ministry, there's a couple of things you can do. You can go online and share this to your page. You can like, love, laugh, whatever
Put a GIF
you
in there. Put a
you
GIF
can
in the
put
comments.
a GIF in there. Tell your friends about us. Come see us in person.
Oh, yes.
We love that. We love new people.
Yes.
So those are some things that you can do for us. You can also go to beginwithinministries.com. And if you'd like to give financially to us, there's a place on there for donate. If you'd like to become a spiritual church club member, which there are so many benefits to.
Yes.
The first one is you get a mug.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Because everything tastes better.
Everything
if you have
tastes better
mug.
in this
Even
mug.
water tastes better in this mug. I'm just
Absolutely.
saying.
That is $45 a month for an individual and $75 for a couple or a family. And that allows us the ability to continue to provide things like our cards and our events and our book studies.
Free classes.
You
Little
get free
hearts.
classes if Michelle and I do them.
Which
If
we are in
someone-
one right now.
If anybody else doesn't, you get a discount. So there are many benefits to it. Look it up online. If you need to reach us, also go to Begin Within Ministries. It tells you who we are and what we do and why we do it. So we appreciate you all. And we got anything
Thanks
else?
for being on the live feed.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Thank you for all the comments. I can't read them without my glasses, but I'm excited to look.
Yes, we got it.
I'm
Like,
excited to
and
look
and
later.
we
It's
have
so
a
fun.
lot of our, so I just want to give a shout out to who's watching or
We
who's
got-
been. We have Cerise, Reverend Missy, Christine,
That's
who
so
had been on
exciting.
our
Yes, she
sofa as well. Of course, Barb.
Oh,
You
Barb,
know,
we miss
Barb,
you.
we miss you so much.
Thank
Yes, we do. So
Yes,
Yeah.
awesome. Well,
So
thanks
thank
for
you
watching
all.
us. Thank you for those of you who came in person. We love that. We love getting our hugs.
yeah, especially Evie, who was watching and then came in.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah, that's
Evie
right.
did
That's how you
both.
do it.
Evie does both, people.
Watch us on the way in.
I know. But anyway, we love you all. Hope you all have a really great week.
See you next
See you
week.
next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Y'all
That's right.
like that?
I love it.